We are Rogue Media Sports.
And we are live It is the Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network, inside the Colt Brennan Memorial Studios and the world-famous Alico Building in Waco, Texas. It is the Cam Show's maiden voyage, live on YouTube. So to commemorate such a special occasion, I've apparently prepared a video for you that I've never seen.
Hey there, Aaron Rodgers here. Listen, when I am not out on a darkness retreat or on an ayahuasca trip, there is nothing that I like better than watching the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports. Man, that Cam is a funny little fella. That's right. And one more thing, Pats suck. Let's go Jets. Jets, Jets. Let's go.
Wow, that's very nice of Aaron. Aaron's an old friend. It's very nice of Aaron to tune in. I always knew he was listening. He wouldn't admit it. He was always, disconnected in the summer, but I knew Aaron was listening. I appreciate that. A-Rod, my second favorite A-Rod ever. What a way to kick off this show. Oh, man. Pete Souza, we're going to hear from later. He would love that. He's got Jets posters all over the place, even though he's from Philly. So we'll get to the bottom of that. I do want to talk about this big story. I never thought that doing a Boston sports show, I would actually be able to kick off my first live show talking about college football, because normally we just don't give a shit about it. But the Boston College Eagles are back. BC football back. And more importantly, there is a Florida State fan out there who needs to eat shit. No, seriously. He said, if Florida State loses to BC, I will eat dog shit out of a Solo cup with a spoon. And now he's nowhere to be seen. This has been taking over Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this, Zach, but it's all over the place on social media of this guy has deleted his account. He is running from it big time.
No, I missed it. I watched the game, but I missed the aftermath of the dog feces in a Solo cup.
So you didn't see the important part, really?
No, I saw. Well, yeah. I saw BC win, and I was surprised that
secondary of importance.
Bill O'Brien was able to open his BC career with a win. As a Texans fan, I will always have disdain for Bill O'Brien. So that was shocking too. But yeah, no, you informed me of this morning.
This is incredible. The guy is 321 classic like college football Twitter guy, like for his fan base. And he said, he put it out there, if Florida State loses to BC this weekend, I will eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post a video of me doing it. And Zach, it didn't even get to the end of the game. They were down 14-0. And he just deleted his account entirely. Just completely got rid of Twitter. He ends up taking down his Facebook, his Instagram. Jack Mack from Barstool is the one that's investigating this. Done some great investigative journalism work. But it's like trending. It was trending all night. Still trending now. Like, he has to eat the shit.
I would think so at this point. I mean, you make promises like that. You can't, right?
And I'm going to post a video of it.
What?
Like, you have to do that.
If you're not going, this is the thing that I've never understood, is if you don't if you're not going to follow through with it, just don't say it. Like, that's,
yeah, man. Put up or shut. This is college football, brother. Like, you if you can't handle the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen. This is real shit, college football, man. And
no pun intended.
No pun intended. This is what is wrong with America. Kids these days, this guy's like 10 years older than me, at least. The kids these days, man, we're soft. If we put this out there just for the sake of putting it out there and then not doing it. Come on. We used to have morals in this country. You did what you said you were going to do. You think George Washington said, "Oh, I'm going to eat shit out of a red Solo cup," and then just went, no, just kidding?
No.
If we lose at Valley Forge, I will eat this dog shit. If that happened, he did it, brother. He did it. We used to have conviction in this country. And instead, it's just it's just doing shit for likes on Twitter for college football content.
Well, this hasn't been, because you're saying this hasn't been the first time we've seen something like this happen, though.
I know. Recently. It's embarrassing.
There's a lot of times that people are like, oh, if this happens, I'll do this. And then all of a sudden they just go quiet when it happens.
We were going to have someone on this show, actually, for the first ever Cam show, was going to get a tattoo that he promised to get on Twitter. Didn't do it.
That's what I was. Yeah.
He did end up getting a tattoo for a different reason that he did put out on Twitter. So I guess I just wasn't good enough. But that he ran from the first one.
Yeah.
And this guy has to eat the shit. And now I'm thinking, look, this has been my whole morning, Zach. This has been my whole morning preparing for this first show of like, okay, he has deleted everything. Now there's burners out there pretending to be him. He's not going to eat the dog shit. Unfortunately, the commies have won. The soft Gen Z millennials, they've won. They've won this round. He's not going to eat the dog shit.
Okay.
So let's just say an angry mob has kidnapped him. He's got to do something. What can he do to make up for this? Because to me, it's almost like he can only eat the shit.
See, I'm having a hard time battling it because I would have never thrown that out there in the first place. But if you're going to go and give something just so ridiculous and out there, it needs to be something as equally ridiculous than if you're going to pivot. If a pivot is accepted, because sometimes it seems like a pivot's a way to get out of the intent that you had with what you threw out there in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's either going to have to be something bigger, or I don't know what you do. He just stays in hiding for the rest of the college football season and beyond.
This is embarrassing. This is a low moment for our country. Is what it is. It's really embarrassing. Lost in this is the fact that BC football is back. By the way, BC football is back, or Florida State is very gone, or both. That was legit, man. I could not believe this last night watching it, Zach. Look, I don't claim to be a BC fan. And the only college sport I care about up in New England is hockey. And from there, I am a BU fan. So I'm not like a BC guy. But when I was a kid, BC was actually good at things. Mm-hmm. They were good at football. At one point, they were ranked number 2 in the country when they had Matt Ryan, Matty Heisman at quarterback.
He was on the cover of an NCAA football game.
Sure. Yeah. Made the Sweet 16 a couple of times when I was a kid in basketball. They haven't even been to the tournament in 15, I think it was 09, 15 years.
Luke Kuechly was on that team too, wasn't he? Or was that a year after?
He was a little bit after. He was a little bit after. He was a beast, by the way. And that's the thing. BC was always, competitive. They were usually going to bowl games. They had a good stretch of bowl games, like 15 straight years or something. Which is funny. Like, I think that's all the years that Baylor missed bowl games. BC was in them, and they were putting guys in the NFL all the time. Like, it was, it was fine. And they made back-to-back ACC championship games when I was a kid in 07 and 08. One of those was with Matt Ryan, and it was a ton of fun. And basketball with Al Skinner, they were good. They weren't great. They were good, though. They were a tournament team. And that has been just a fucking wasteland the last 15 years of revenue sports. Hockey's still been good. Well, it's been 12 years since they've won it all. But hockey's still good. But football, men's basketball, women's basketball have just been horrific, just terrible. In fact, when I was in high school, BC was like 2-10. Like, they were losing to Army. It was terrible. But they looked very much back last night. I know Florida State might suck. I know DJ Uiagalelei, however you say it, he stinks. He can't throw the ball in the ocean. But BC was in the red zone taking knees as if to not run up the score on Florida State in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I think I saw. I mean, they were averaging 5.4 yards a play.
Nah, come on. And that second half, they didn't even need to pass, man.
Yeah.
Florida State, man, you got to get some tackling dummies out there. Jesus. They were getting 3 or 4 guys at the ball carrier and couldn't bring them down. Boston College. We're not talking about Georgia here. My God, BC was one of the worst recruiting bases of any Power 4 team in America. Just rolled right through them. I'm watching and I'm a little high. And so they've got like the camera panned to the people walking out of the game with like 6 minutes left. And I'm like, oh yeah, because BC's up 2 touchdowns and have no sign of of giving the ball back with any time to score 2 or 3 scores. And yeah, they're taking knees. Bill O'Brien is trying not to run up the score on a team that was snubbed from the playoff last year. Good Lord. Is BC back? Is football in Massachusetts back? The Patriots aren't doing it. BC. Oh, Billy O. Can you believe that? Like the ultimate retread of retreads. Billy O just trying his hand at college football again. He's only had 2 jobs and in college football. One of them was as the head coach for Penn State after their whole scandal. And now BC, and you could argue BC was in a worse situation roster-wise to come into than what Penn State had after Paterno and Sandusky. Oh, man. I'm in, dude. That's the biggest win in the state of Florida for Boston College in 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years since the Hail Mary game for Doug Flutie.
Yeah. No, it just they
were wearing kind of the old school. They have gone a lot more towards these like throwback type of uniforms. I think it's their permanent set now, at least on the road. It looks terrific. Doesn't look like it did the last 10 years. It's awesome, man.
I like the way they looked, both obviously score wise and then uniform wise. But I was a bit shocked, obviously, because I would watch and they went up 14-6 at half, and I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. Florida State will turn it on.
People were
in the second
deleting
half.
their accounts
Already. Yeah, they were worried, and then it just didn't happen. And I mean, it's crazy to me too to think that Castellanos only had 105 passing yards and all that.
Yeah.
He almost rushed for $1 too, but. I mean, he's that dual. Well, I would call him a dual threat quarterback, but
he's a runner.
He is. He likes.
He's a runner,
he does.
man. And I was watching. So in the third quarter, I tweeted something out like, Florida State's brain dead right now. Like BC needs to get the kill shot midway through the third quarter, and then Florida State scored. They converted like a 3rd and long, and a couple plays later they scored. And I was like, oh shit, man, I jinxed this hard. I really jinxed this. This is BC. This is the BC I know. And then BC goes right down the field and scores again. And the game's over. We're going into the 4th and the game is almost over. And man, I could not believe it. It makes me think back to 2007, that year they were number 2 in the country. And for those of you who don't know, Zach, you might not even really appreciate this, but Boston does not give a shit about college sports.
That doesn't shock me, but
not a shit. Except maybe college hockey. The college hockey niche is there. But the sports fans there will kind of keep up with some college football, and they will bet on March Madness. In fact, all my friends who went to school up there only watch college sports for betting. And I remembered back to 2007, one of the biggest wins BC ever had was a top 10, top 15 matchup in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. Always good Virginia Tech, right? And Matt Ryan was the quarterback for BC. And they were down 7-0 or 10-0 late in the game, and he engineered 2 scoring drives in the last 5 minutes to win in Blacksburg. Humongous deal, except for the fact that nobody in Boston was watching. Nobody. The Red Sox were playing a World Series game that same time, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. on a Saturday night. Just could not give a shit less.
A top 10 matchup, number 2 versus number 8 at the time.
Oh man, was BC number 2 or number 8?
BC was number 2. They finished. They were 8-0 at the time after that, and that was Virginia Tech's second loss on the season.
That's that's one of the biggest games in Boston college football history. But the Red Sox are playing in the World Series. Sorry, it sucks for them. They came at a time. They hit a peak at a time that was such a good time for Boston professional sports. Literally, the Red Sox were in the World Series. The Patriots were undefeated. I know that because they went the whole regular season undefeated and went to the Super Bowl. The Celtics had just put the big 3 together. They're just starting their season. They're about to go win an NBA title. There is no worse time to be peaking as a college sports team in Boston than right then. And that really sucks. And look, BC is so easy to make fun of. They went to the big time and they think they're big time and they are not big time. But if this football team is back and they can be a consistent bowl team, or I don't know, screw around and win 8 or 10 games, that would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Because we need some good football in this Commonwealth right now. And we are not getting it from the New England Patriots. But before I end this, Zach, I'm putting it out to you right now.
Okay.
BC football back, yay or nay?
Nay.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
I'm a Bill
You're a big
O'Brien.
time hater.
I'm a Bill O'Brien hater 100%. This has nothing to do with BC in general. It's the fact that it's Bill O'Brien. And
the two tight ends, Zach, the two tight ends set 2011, man.
That's cool. I remember listening to Alabama fans complain about his offensive play calling the whole time he was OC. So hopefully for BC, they're
you
back,
saw it for real.
but they're going to be back despite Bill O'Brien.
Look, all I'm saying is
That's kind of, he seems like a nice enough guy. I still have
keep the
Texans
throwback
anger.
Keep the throwback uniforms. Win some big games. I'm all in on this.
The ACC is wide open right now.
It sure is, man. How about if you sue your conference, you're going to suck. The teams that have sued the ACC to get out are 0-3 and look laughably bad. Like Clemson. Clemson's a fucking joke, man. Like they might be, you know what they are going to be now?
Ugly game.
They are going to be, there might have been a passing of the baton. I think Clemson might now be Miami. I said this during the Miami versus Florida game. We're going to get bogged down in some college football here.
Cam Ward looked nice on Saturday.
Right. My favorite annual tradition is what week we find out all the experts were wrong about Miami again. Like, what is the week that we find out Miami is not going to the college football playoff, and at best they will be 8-4, and they're probably not even going to be that. It's usually week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They got a game early in the season that they lose, and then they lose someone early in conference play, and then the dream is dead on the vine. But Florida is bad, but Miami looks pretty good. Now, is that going to be Clemson? Because Clemson's going to be ranked every year. They're going to still rank him. Dabo Swinney is sabotaging his own program because he doesn't do NIL or transfer portal. Good freaking luck, man. Good luck. This is going to happen to them all the time. You know, it's like Miami and Michigan used to be this way too. They would always schedule someone big at the beginning of the season, and they would get their shit rocked. I remember they did that they did it for Alabama in Dallas one year, Arlington, and just got pummeled. And that's what Clemson's going to be. And Florida State's looked like that. They haven't even really played anyone good yet. They played 2 conference games, but Georgia Tech and Boston College have knocked them off for both. That's incredible. I'm saying BC football back. And as much as I am a BU Terriers guy, I'm here for it. I'm as easy as they are to laugh at, and as pathetic as Boston College can be at times, both on the field and off the field, keeping UConn out of the ACC for 30 years. I think that's a great step for BC, and I think they're back.
All right. I mean,
I just think you're a hater, Zach.
That's fine. I'll gladly take again, it's a Bob hating situation, not necessarily BC.
And I need them to lean into it too. I need like coin flipping captains, Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly, BJ Raji, Mike Cloud, Super Bowl winner, Mike Cloud. I need Damian Woody.
I will add one thing that I did like seeing about BC. And some of this could be that Florida State just cannot stop the run in general because they had the problem against Georgia Tech too. But you had 3 different guys, including your quarterback, who had over 70 yards rushing against that team. I mean, Kyle Robichaud had 85. Trayshawn Ward had 77, and then Thomas Castellanos had 73 himself.
I'm not even surprised, dude. Just the eye test, they can't tackle.
Yeah.
It was so funny, man. It was so fun. Like if you showed a European those 2 teams, I know we're getting bogged down, but you show a European those 2 teams in that game last night, you say, okay, one of them is from one of the great football hotbeds in this country. The other, they don't really give a shit. They don't develop any talent. You'd say, okay, BC, what a place to go play college football. Florida needs to step their game up for the whole state. That's what you'd be saying.
No, true.
Oof. Miami is comfortably the best team in that state. And
Mhm.
UCF is the second, by the way. But BC back. New England Patriots not. Jerod Mayo, maybe he needs to try his hand at some college coaching because the shit he's saying as the NFL head coach is not working. That's coming up on the Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. Thanking Waco ISD for that little hub. We're back on the Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. BC football is back. I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it until it's real. And to recap this show, now the Patriots are not. They are back, like they're playing this week. But if you've heard me any time on the Cam Show the last few months, you'll know that I am preparing for the worst here. I get it. I'm not someone who has unrealistic expectations. It might even curb how much I'm actually shitting on them throughout the season, but this is not going to be a good football team. It's not a good football team right now. And I'm not saying their coach is going to suck, but their coach is putting himself in weird situations over and over and over again. Jerod Mayo is clearly learning on the fly how to be an NFL head coach. And I think what is part of this is he's really trying not to be Belichick. He only played and only coached under Belichick in the pros, but you could tell he's trying to do his own thing. He's working too much on trying to be his own thing and probably not taking from the Belichick media school that should help him. Look, Belichick was a dick to the media, like a dick, like not a nice guy to them at all. I didn't think it was very cutesy or funny or anything like that, like most people do and did. But Mayo instead is sounding like a fucking moron by some of the things he's saying and then having to backtrack and trying to put context to it and everything. This all started really started when he said Alex Van Pelt is going to make the call on who the quarterback's going to be. That was weird. And now he's emphatically said, no, it's my decision. It's my decision. Yes, it is your decision, Jerod. You're the head coach. It should be your decision. And then kind of started with the whole starting quarterback thing. That's the pop that everyone saw. He said Drake Maye has outplayed Jacoby Brissett in preseason. 2 days later, he said, yes, Jacoby Brissett's our starting quarterback. We believe in Jacoby. We're behind him 100%. Excuse me? What is that? What do you mean? Sir, we just heard you say. No, that was you. We know you said that. You said that Drake outplayed Jacoby. So then this whole charade of a quarterback competition, it's just been a farce, man. They've been lying to you the whole time. They say it's a competition and then say, well, the second best guy is going to win the competition. Then why string us along this whole time? I actually don't really understand how it makes sense for the Patriots. I know you get fan intrigue with the quarterback competition. I understand that. But if your goal was never to play the kid, that the kid was never going to be starting week 1, then that just makes you look worse. Like, how stupid do you think we are? Because now you look really dumb. And now he's trying to backtrack it, Jerod Mayo is. He's telling who was it, Doug Kyatt. He said, "Oh yeah, I got to put some context to that. I didn't really mean that. I didn't really mean that Drake Maye outplayed Jacoby Brissett. Drake had more playing time in the preseason than Jacoby. That was intentional." What those two things aren't the same thing, though. Like, those are never the same thing. I don't understand where the guy's coming from. Zach, if I told you, hey, this is the best quarterback of the two,
then I believe you would play the best quarterback of the two.
I don't get it. And then he uses the line of, well, Jacoby gives us the best chance to win right now. Well, no, he doesn't. You want, like, it's okay to say that the quarterback that we picked 3rd overall, that was always going to be the big project, that was the rawest of those 3 guys that were picked at the top, he's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Are some fans going to be mad at that? Sure. Some talking heads are going to say, well, how do you draft a guy number 3 if he's not ready to play week 1? It happens. It used to happen a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre forever. Granted, that was a weird deal with Favre and his contract situation with the Packers for that.
I brought up this stat last week. This is going to go into that, Zach, because since 2008, that was the year Matt Ryan and the Ravens guy, Joe Flacco, started as rookies the whole season and went to the playoffs. Since then, I think it was 48 quarterbacks have been taken in the first round in those 16 years, and only 3 of them have gotten like the true red shirt, like didn't play at all until like the last week of the season or the next season. One of them is Jake Locker.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
The other 2 are Jordan Love and Patrick Mahomes.
Worked out pretty well.
So like there is a manual here on how that works. I'm not saying Drake Maye is those guys, but it works. So if you're saying, hey, we're not rushing Drake at all. He's not ready yet. We are going to put him out there when he's ready and the team is ready for him. And they haven't said that once. They've said Drake is the best quarterback, or Drake is still learning some things, and Jacoby is our pro quarterback. Jacoby sucks, by the way. Jacoby Brissett has never been a good quarterback in the NFL. He has been like this the whole time. He's been serviceable. You can plug him in there. He's not going to win you many games, but he's also not going to lose you games. That's what he is. He's Brian Hoyer with hair. And now we're saying, like, he's our best chance to win. He is our guy. We are rebuilding this franchise, and he is going to be the start of it. Bullshit, man. He doesn't even give you the best chance to win right now. You already told me Drake Maye is the better quarterback. Then he gives you the better chance to win right now. And by the way, you're not fucking winning right now. You're not going to win many games.
So then let me ask you this. Is it you would be more, I guess, okay, for a better word, if the coaching staff was just transparent and came out and told you Drake Maye is the quarterback of the future. He is the better quarterback right now. Me as a head coach, if Mayo said, or as a coaching staff, we just don't believe he's ready to lead an NFL team yet. Jacoby has the experience. We're going to roll with Jacoby until we feel Maye's ready.
Yes, I would prefer that. I know a bunch of talking heads in Boston sports media aren't going to handle that well, right? But I as a fan, first and foremost, I'm okay with that, because your organization is being transparent with you. And what it says to me, Zach, if they say that, it says they have a plan.
Yeah, true.
And they have not hit this part of the plan yet, but it's all part of the plan. Because right now, no fucking clue what the plan is. No clue. No clue. They said it was an open quarterback competition. The guy who's the best is going to play. And then they went right back on that. Like immediately before a single regular season game was played. They're like, no, actually, we were just kidding about that. We were just kidding. And it's become like this pathetic backtrack because today Jerod Mayo had a couple of pathetic quotes, or the last couple of days. One was today. They asked him what a good season looks like, and he gave the soundbite that your shitty 3-7 high school football team's coach would give for a quarterback who cannot throw it 15 yards. Well, we're just looking to get better every day. A good season to me is getting competitive, being competitive in these football games, getting better. And really, I hope the guys have fun out there.
As long as we're executing, we're doing things right.
He didn't say that last part, but he did say the first couple.
I was just throwing. It all felt like just generic coach speak.
Yes. As someone whose high school football team was not good, I can tell you that's what they say. That's what they say. The head coach of the Riesel Indians is saying that this week. I'm telling you, Zach's alma mater, Zach's team. They're saying we're just looking to get better every day. That is coach speak for we suck. We suck hard. And we're just hoping that by the end of the season, we suck a little bit less and we draft someone, we fall ass backwards into somebody who's pretty good at football and will carry us. And in this case, it is we're hoping to not suck by the end of the year, and Drake Maye is going to save all our frickin' jobs. That's what it is. And the other quote from Mayo was, well, we don't want Jacoby to feel like Drake Maye is nipping at his heels. Why the fuck not? Why not? This is the future of your franchise, and you don't want to offend the starter? Give me a break. What is the plan? What is the plan? That is from the beginning of training camp saying it is an open competition, to then saying the guy who lost the competition is going to be our starter, to then saying we don't want competition at all. Like, what am I missing here? This is an NFL team, and they're worried about offending their starting quarterback. Fucking hell. This team used to win Super Bowls. This team used to win Super Bowls. They were in the AFC Championship every fucking year, and they're saying we just hope to get a little bit better each week. What is this? What is this team, man? Are we the Jets? Are we the Jaguars? I get it. Like, they're not good right now. I understand that. I get that I've had a pretty good lifetime of NFL football with the Patriots. I understand. And that it needed to end at some point. But that doesn't mean you have no standards. That doesn't mean you're on the Boston sports radio station saying, yeah, we're just hoping to get better a little bit each week. Fuck. What's next? We want everyone to come to practice. We want our guys to pay attention in the meetings, in the film room. That's what we're getting to. Good Lord, man. This is just, it has not been a Mayo summer. It has not been a summer of Jerod Mayo. Man, he just, everything he says, man, you're like, who is the coach here? Or what is the standard of this franchise? What coach goes out and says, yeah, the OC will pick who the quarterback is? That's your job. And then he's like, no. Of course it's my job. I was like, well, that's not what you said. Oh, man. It's a big drop-off, man. Even in his later years, and the game has passed him by years, if you want to say that. Belichick still knew how to at least fool you into thinking they had a plan, which I think he did. It didn't work, but he did have a plan. Right now, this is, we'll throw Jacoby out there. If we start 0-6, maybe we'll put Drake Maye. That's a real possibility, by the way. They could start 0-6. They were arguably the worst offense in football last year, and they got worse. They're in a worse situation until Drake Maye goes out there. Man, like 2 years ago, they were one game away from the playoffs, and Robert Kraft was saying, this is not acceptable. Not making the playoffs is not acceptable. And now they're basically saying, we just hope everyone has fun out there. We're just hoping to get a little bit better. Oh, what a joke. What a joke. They take on the Bengals this week. There's some quiet confidence in people. The last time the New England Patriots opened a season on the road in Cincinnati, they won the Super Bowl. Take that for what it's worth, Zach.
No.
Take that for what it's worth.
Am I supposed to say the Patriots are back then?
It
too
was
now?
the year. It was the year of our Lord 2001. I don't think they're back yet.
Okay.
If they beat the Bengals, though, I will have
Man,
that
I was in
discussion.
junior high. All right.
Yeah, 2001.
Oh, that's the one
next
against
game,
the Rams.
Drew Bledsoe
right?
got hurt. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
Wow.
That was the first
Okay.
one. Kicked this whole thing off. You remember that? Patriots, Super Bowls? Oh, man, that was fun. That was fun. Now they're just hoping to get better. Like, when is I am going to be sifting through this every week. When is the week that Drake Maye is going to start? Last week I said week 4, which is against San Francisco on the road. They're going to be 0-3. It's total house money. Go for it. Total house money. You're across the country. Like, you're not supposed to beat the Niners anyway. If you're going on the radio shows the next day, you're going to be like, well, what'd you expect? This team went to the Super Bowl last year. We're not supposed to beat them. So why not? Let the kids sling it. Go out. So, yeah, there's two schools of thought of the, hey, don't rush him. This offensive line is the worst in the league. They have no weapons. Keep him on the bench for a while versus it's the NFL. Let the kid go figure it out. So I'm kind of in the let him figure it out camp of that. Like, why not? The kid looked pretty good in preseason. I get it. It was vanilla defenses, but let's just kind of see what he's got. There's, for all those who took the red shirt, there's plenty of guys who learned on the fly. You know, I'm talking about, Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Like, these guys, they learned on the fly. They did just fine. They're not Mahomes, but they did all right for themselves. Josh Allen had a whole year or two of figuring it out. Like, there were some rough games he had those first 2 years with Buffalo. By his second year, they were battling for the division title up until Christmas time. So, there is that, and that's where I'm kind of at. But more what I want is a franchise that actually has a vision and has a plan. This team does not have it right now. This organization doesn't have a plan, and they're not going to win many football games. And it's time for Jerod Mayo to maybe start going Belichick on the media. You don't even need to be a dick, but just stop a Camp Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, Colt Brennan Memorial Studio in the Alco building in Waco, Texas. And now joining me, my good friend Pete Souza, also of the Rogue Media Sports Network, and he's hosting the Pete Souza Show. Pete, how are you doing?
I'm actually entertained. I've been sitting in on this show. First of all, you're going berserk. It's more really you should have a therapist in here, and you just shouldn't be yelling as much. That would because this is a therapy session for you.
I've thought of like two different ways to go with this show, and one was taking edibles beforehand, and the other was doing just therapy. Maybe both.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you did take edibles beforehand.
I wish, man. This show would be someone asked me the other day, what if you got high before your show? And I'd say it would be much better.
I mean, at some point you'll have to do it.
Be much better.
Yeah, I've heard Mad Dog Russo. He'll talk about taking gummies on the weekend, like once in a blue moon. And he joined Howard Stern once, and Howard was like, I challenge you to take a gummy before one of your shows. And Mad Dog said he might do it. And he's one of the most unbelievable broadcasters of our time, second to you, who I think has really emerged this morning. You do. My favorite part about
the
you,
happy cat.
Well, my favorite part about you is you refuse to give anyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Which I guess is part of, as a member of the media, you have to hold people accountable. And boy, do you hold people accountable.
I do that. And when they do it to me, I cry. You know who I'm gonna fucking hold accountable, man? Oh man, I'm gonna be old man yells at cloud here, Pete. You ready for this?
Of course.
Do you have DirecTV?
No, but I know where you're going with this. Yeah,
fucking incredible. So I don't even have DirecTV.
Yeah.
Actually, my future in-laws have DirecTV, but
future in-laws, you get carried away there, pal. Yeah.
It's wishful thinking. I'm using, I use it. We all use it because it's like a free, you just use the stream. They already pay for it.
Yeah.
So I'm using it, and in ESPN Plus, you also put in your provider, so that way anything that's on regular ESPN,
so wait a minute. Let's run this back.
Yes.
So you don't have DirecTV, but you do.
Yes, I have.
So
a
right away,
to it. I don't pay for it.
Okay, so you're pirating DirecTV.
Kind of.
So
I mean,
if
it's
we're
on
going to be
legit
accountable,
account. It's on a legit account.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, so when you go onto ESPN Plus, which I pay for, I subscribe to, so I can listen to Pete calling college football and college basketball games.
Yeah.
That's why I do it, obviously. And so I subscribe to that, but if you're going on the app and it's a game that's on ESPN or ABC, it's going to say you can't watch it on the app. You got to watch it on your cable. They got a deal there clearly. And DirecTV just cut off Disney and ESPN like in the middle of the weekend, like on Sunday, right in the middle of US Open tennis and
it was
the LSU USC game.
Yeah. I mean, the end of the US Open on Sunday, programming wise, and into LSU USC.
Just done. Cut it.
Yeah.
And so I go on to watch the BC Florida State game last night, and I go to the ESPN app because I know this thing's going on, and it says, well, you can't watch this because it's on cable. I was like, yeah, but not my cable.
Well, can I tell you this is okay. Yes.
And I pay for ESPN Plus. That's the first problem. That's always been a problem, that you should just be able to watch anything that is on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, but if it's on the actual network,
I know, but
you have to turn over the keys to your cable provider.
Pain in the fucking ass.
It is. But again, this goes back to your illegitimate DirecTV, and the fact that account is probably based out of somewhere in what are we talking, like Charlotte, Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they know you're not home with that, so they're not gonna. That ain't working.
Well, wait, how does that factor into it?
Like for instance, your footprint digitally.
Right. No, I know that. Like, but I could use DirecTV Stream for anything else. Like,
but not for a game that is on your local cable provider.
Yeah, I'm saying that should not be happening anyway.
Yes.
That's the first problem. The second problem is, yes, in this example, I am subscribed to both, but only paying for one. There are thousands, maybe millions of schmucks out there paying for both.
Both, yes. Okay.
And they cannot watch the game. I had to watch the game in Spanish.
No, you didn't.
I did. That's the only thing. Because in English, it's on ESPN. I can't do it. I had to watch it in Spanish.
There is a way through this. I don't know how. I'm not qualified.
That is
I'm
the
barely
way.
qualified to do my job, but I know
Donde
that
es el way.
I know
I
that
nailed
there
that, by the
there is an opportunity for you to fix this problem. The DirecTV going dark. Hey, I mean that's business.
That's classic DirecTV.
It is.
That is so
Yeah.
DirecTV will fuck up anything possible. They will. They cannot help themselves, man. It's been decades of this shit.
You know, by the way, my thing is, and because I've been this person. When you go, if you have a DirecTV satellite on your roof, it's probably the last. That's your last stop on the bus. Like you were talking.
What is this, 2006?
Well, no, we're just talking like
no, you're right. You're
credit
right.
score
Yes,
of like God knows what. Like you can always get DirecTV, and a lot of times
it's like that in the general insurance.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
if you go to a house and like let's say you're renting and there's a DirecTV satellite on the roof, you can only imagine what went on there before you got there.
It's a good point.
But hey, I have been the DirecTV satellite on the roof guy. So
I mean, if I wasn't a cord cutter, I might be. But I'm technically, this is a great thing. I could be a cord cutter and still use DirecTV most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree,
great.
but it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
Yeah, when they pull shit like this,
Yeah.
when they just say, "Oh yeah, football season, we're not doing ESPN anymore." Like,
Well,
we're
I mean,
just
it's
done.
obviously,
That's insane.
and it's a monster. Disney's a monster, and that all that stuff again, way above my pay grade, right? But like the negotiations between Disney and DirecTV, they obviously weren't able to make a deal in time. What I was surprised about is that nobody knew about it until it actually went lights out.
Yeah, I had heard like some rumors about it, but like a hard out, like the end of The Sopranos, like just done. And like this is by the way, great power move by Disney.
Hey.
You think you can survive college football season without us? Good fucking luck.
And that again, you said
That's massive.
and that's DirecTV for you, right? As we've
So
seen in the
DirecTV,
past.
man.
Yeah.
DirecTV and Red Zone, man, they will try and scam you out of anything possible, and they'll only work together.
Red Zone has had me. There's a couple times where I've been like, "Oh, I have Red Zone," but I don't have it. You know, like there's like the Red Zone channel you can click and then you'll subscribe.
It's like an add-on for the Sunday ticket.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Sunday ticket.
Yeah.
Which is total bullshit. I have to have it. I have to have it.
So you will have the Sunday ticket.
I will. Yeah. And the problem
Who's paying
is
for that? Because I know you're not.
fucking me.
You will. So what's
it auto renewed. I was
what's that price look like?
400 some odd, 450 at least.
Now right away,
I
young
used to
man in me.
use-
So can you pay in installments?
So it auto renewed. It just took
$400.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that was my big problem because my girlfriend is technically still a student. She's in a doctoral program. So I could get the student discount on it with her email, which only brings it down to, by the way, when I was in school, which is not
Zach,
long
that's
ago.
got to be super attractive for his girlfriend.
100%.
Can I use your student email so I can get your discount?
On top of your parents'
Wow.
DirecTV and your parents' Netflix.
I mean, you want to talk about love? This woman is clearly into you. Because
I don't know why. but
Maybe she appreciates his thriftiness. Then.
maybe, long term, this might work
big.
out for her.
That's big. That's going to be part of the pitch to her parents for the go-ahead. That I'm thrifty. I'm mooching off you guys.
But hopefully
it
this will
used
be
to
before they explain to her like they can't watch DirecTV because some asshole in Waco has hijacked their
Well,
account.
I have been the better person every time I'll go into Netflix now, and it's because we don't live together for the next couple months.
Uh-huh.
So it used to just be whatever, like we were on the same TV, so we could use Netflix. But now it's like, hey, too many accounts, and I'll be like, I'll stand down. I'll be the bigger person.
How
here 'cause
is
I'm not paying for
living
it.
so far apart from your
Oh,
girlfriend?
dude, it
been?
fucking sucks.
It does.
man.
What do you guys do as
Sucks.
far as the communication is concerned? Like, how often do you talk, and what's the length of the conversations?
I mean, like a FaceTime kind of thing.
No, do you FaceTime a lot?
A lot, yeah. Probably 4 times a week.
Are you
Because
conscious-
we'll have like, for high school football Fridays and college football Saturdays, I'm really, really busy. So
Are you conscious of how you look on the FaceTimes?
No,
That's good.
I can't afford to be.
No, I don't think anyone
I
can.
can't afford to be.
Yeah. The reason I ask is my girlfriend was in Belize on like a girls trip, and her sister's
Very
like
cool.
12 years younger than she is. Like,
Oh, they're gonna say 12. I was like,
No.
that's intense.
long story,
That's a
but yeah,
mistake.
there's a 12-year age
Yeah.
gap, and her boyfriend, her sister, they're constantly FaceTiming all the time. So now this bar is being set. this FaceTime bar that I'm never gonna meet. You know, because
Yeah.
so she's
Does she
in the
know
room.
that though? Does your girlfriend know that?
So she knows, but for whatever reason, I felt the need to remind her of that. Like, hey, just so you know, like you don't want to be with a guy that's gonna FaceTime you that much.
Yeah, that's
at my
annoying.
age.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, you just say about all the.
I
bad things
overshot
about
the
it.
mark.
Yeah.
I should have just. It's better off just saying nothing.
So yeah, I mean, we talk like fairly regularly, but we're both working people. So it's not like this is not a high school relationship where we're just texting at all hours of the day. Like we text a lot and we send each other memes on social media.
So that's good. So you guys seem like you've transitioned to finding the way to.
Sure. Yeah. And I've had to have conversations with her like that, like what you were talking about in terms of, hey, your parents aren't going to like me the same way they like your sister's boyfriends. Just so you know, there was one of the sisters, her younger sister had a boyfriend who was super good dude. And he is in the military, but like very humble guy, really nice, always wants to help out. His family lived kind of close by, so he was always at like my girlfriend's family's holidays, which I'm never at or not at all the time because my family lives in a different state. And so they love him. They love him. And the two broke up a couple months ago. And I was like, bummer, because I like the guy too, but also that's some competition off the board. Big time. Like they went to a Christmas Eve family dinner at a restaurant, and he was there, and he literally, Pete, he saved someone's fucking life. Someone was choking on their steak at another table, and he went and saved her life. And I was like, brother, that's never going to happen. I'm like, unless someone is dying on the floor saying the only thing that can revive them is if someone here knew every World Series winner after World War II, I'm not saving anybody's life.
I wouldn't put it past you to like put together some kind of scam where somebody fakes choking where you go over to rescue them. Yeah, so you can go ahead and be on equal footing with this guy.
It's like a Curb episode. I could do that.
You could do that.
And like they do like me, and I really like them a lot. Like they're a great family.
It sounds like they like you. I mean,
but they also
clearly.
like don't love sports. And as you've known talking to me, there's not much else I can talk about.
Yeah, but that's
like,
why I love
really
you. I mean, I believe the world needs more people your age that are like this.
That like doesn't give a shit about pop culture or
and
like
you
politics.
You have a great history of the games.
Oh, yeah. That's something Mosley loves about me.
Yeah.
Is that I can actually recall things like that happened before I was born. I study this shit. But like I was talking with Grace about this yesterday. I don't know. I've seen the name, but I have no fucking clue who Chapel Roan is. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. No. I have no idea if I think they're a singer, right? Not an actor. They could be an actor.
Zach
says no idea. Zach might know.
Yeah, she's a singer.
We got that. All right, I got that nailed down.
Like, I tell you, I'm pissed off at this
thing. I see these names now: Chapel Roan, Sabrina Carpenter. Like I know these.
What's
people
going
exist,
on with this? My thing, I see this Dancing with the Stars guy, whose name I can't pronounce, who I guess had a domestic situation with Nikki Bella. So
I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, I'm not liking
more
this
people like
Dancing with the Stars guy at all, because I would anybody that lays a hand on Nikki
Alfonso
Bella.
Ribeiro. Please no.
I think Nikki Bella would to be able to take care of that.
I saw him in a promo, and I was like, do people remember who Alfonso Ribeiro is? I mean, he's a good star 30 years ago.
Mike Hamilton just came in here waving his hands.
Yeah, he wants me to stop.
So that's it. So do we have a hard out at noon, Mike? Okay.
All right. Well, it is high noon here in Central Texas. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, dude, anytime, Cam.
Thanks, Zach.
You are very, very fun to watch. You go berserk. I love it.
Cut the shit, dude.
I'm serious.
Cut the shit. This has been the first live episode of the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again whenever you'll have me.